Morning guys, hope all is well. I'm just going to check the fluid levels before I try and restart the bike. I'm going to start with the engine oil. I'll take a look in the oil tank here just to see what the level looks like and also what the oil itself looks like. I might actually drop the oil out of it and just replace with fresh oil. I'm not sure when it was last changed, so it might be a good starting point before I start the bike. Then I'll check the gearbox or the transmission oil level here, and then the primary case as well. I'll check to make sure that number one, there is some oil in there, and number two, what it looks like, the level and so forth. And then I'll be checking the brake fluid here for the master cylinder on this front disc brake, and then my own fluid levels as well. I've got plenty of cups of tea to keep myself going, so hope you'll enjoy this video. Also got a couple of brand new tyres as well for the bike. I use these on most of my bikes. They are the Avon Road Rider 190/19s. They're the Mark II, the new Mark IIs, and I'm not quite sure what the difference is, but they've got the Union Jack on the sidewall, and I think perhaps some of the tyre tread patterns are a little different as well. I found these to be really good tyres, so I'm going to put them on the bike. I know they're a modern tyre, but I am planning on riding the bike quite a bit, and so I didn't want to go back with the old blocky square original tyres. I've also ordered a new rotor from Norton, so that's on its way. I was thinking about getting this one ground, get rid of all that chrome, but actually decided to get a new rotor after all. Just going to start by checking the engine oil level. Well, that's completely dry. Oh yeah, it's below the filter even. So it's wet sumped. So I think instead of trying to recirculate this oil, I'm just going to drop it out completely out of the bike through the drain plug at the bottom, and then I'll replace it with fresh oil. I'll start by draining whatever oil there is remaining in this tank. There's not much in here. It normally comes gushing out if it's fuller. This is probably unnecessary, but I'm going to suck the rest of the oil out of the oil tank using this TheMightyGarage. No affiliation whatsoever. I also want to say thank you for pointing out, guys, that this is the drain plug, not this. Let's see how much comes out here. Should be quite a lot. Oh, it looks quite clean. Oh well. Yeah, that's much cleaner than the oil that comes out of mine. But this is a low mileage bike and it's probably had a recent oil change as well then. But better be safe than sorry. And while we're waiting for the sump to drain, I'm just going to check the gearbox oil level. We can check the oil level by looking inside this case, and there's a level screw right here. But you can see the thread of it on the inside of the gearbox case, the cover. And that tells us whether we're at level or not. Oh yeah, and it's very, very clean. It's actually just above the level screw. So a little bit more. But it's been stud, no doubt, the bike, so nevertheless, just a little bit more, but nothing to worry about. So that's great. I'm not going to change anything about that. I'll leave that just as it is. And now to check the primary. I'm just going to check the primary oil level here in the primary case. I've got this tool from Andover Norton. It works a treat. It doesn't damage the lips here of these inspection caps as well. It's got a small piece as well at the other end for this piece. Works great. It's definitely worth it. I think it's not very expensive and just saves all that damage that you normally see on these caps. Primary chains a little loose, but the engine's very cold. I'll have to check this another time. So what I might do is I might top it up. Again, this is the level plug, not the drain plug, so I'll take this level plug out, fill it up until it stops coming out of the level plug. And then once it stops coming out of the level plug, you put the screw back in and the level is set. I guess it was set right. I'm just going to check this sump plug before I refit it, just to see if there's any deposits on there. It looks great, actually. Couple of little pieces of metal, actually. Alright, I'll keep my eye on that next time I do an oil change. I did notice that this crankcase sump filter, there was some oil weeping from underneath there, and looks like the washer has compressed to such an extent that it's coming perhaps from underneath the washer. So I'm going to anneal both this washer here, oh yeah, it's flat, and also the drain plug washer as well. Also just going to check this sump filter, the element inside. See what it looks like. Quite dirty. Well, it should take 3 quarts now, but I'm just going to put in 2 for now, and then I'll see what it looks like when the bike's running and then top up. I normally do this. I think I've mentioned this before, I run my bikes pretty low. This is the Valvoline VR1 2050. It's the racing oil. I like this very much. It's got the extra zinc in it, and I've been using this in my Vincent's and my Commando, and it's been really good. That's okay. Looks a little dark. I'll come back to that. tight. Yeah, that's very tight. I think that's too tight. Wow, that was tight. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, great. Well, that's tight. That's not too bad. This one's fine. That one's too tight. I'd say that's more like 6th. This one's 8. Wow, that's tight. That's better. Just turn it over one more time. Yeah, that's good. I'm not polishing these guys, leaving them just as they are at the moment. And believe me, it's taking all my strength not to polish them, to resist the urge to clean them all up. Well, that's about it for this week, guys. I hope you are enjoying the videos. There's still a lot more to check on the bike, but the next step will be to try and see if we can get this bike started. So I'll speak to you again next week. See ya.